Welcome to Childcare Rockstar Radio. I am your host, Chris Murray. Childcare leaders around the globe are breaking through challenges, leading the way in innovation, testing new best practices, and impacting children and families in a much more powerful and positive way than ever before. Each week, join me for interviews with early childhood leaders and experts that will leave you inspired to become the next childcare rockstar. Now, let's go. This is episode 96 of Childcare Rockstar Radio, featuring Jamarrion Tabor. Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. This is Chris Murray, your host, and I have a great one for you today. Jamarrion Tabor is a powerhouse, and she has much to share regarding her mission and ideas that she does for keeping her team excited and bringing her brand to her community in a big way. And I can't wait for you to meet her here at Childcare Rockstar Radio. We are in the middle of doing a challenge right now, the 6 Figures in 7 Days challenge. And if you're listening to this podcast real time, you may have experienced it last week. It just ended. And if you were in the challenge with us, we had 1,500 people, 1,400 people in the challenge. And it was just an incredible experience. And I'm smack dab in the middle of hosting it right now. It is so much fun. And, there's nothing like a community and a tribe of like-minded individuals who want to just do amazing things in this world. And we got 1,500 of them that came in to our Transforming Fear into Financial Freedom and Life Freedom during this last challenge. So thank you guys so much. And thanks to our sponsor, Play with a Purpose. We gave away a $5,000 STEAM lab to one lucky grand prize winner, which now that you're listening to this already happened, but at the time that I'm recording this episode, we don't know who that winner is yet. So very exciting. And just a great way to kick off the new year. So happy new year, everybody. This is the first episode of the new year, 2021. And couldn't feature a more heartfelt, fun, and creative thinker than Jamarrion Tabor. She is sharing her vision of bringing high quality early care and education to inner city, minority, and underserved children and single parents. So she is hitting it hard today with a fantastic message, which is, underserved kids, inner city kids, underprivileged kids need high quality too. And so she wants to be the one to bring it. Not that it's not being brought already, but she recognizes, having grown up in what she calls the hood, that there's still an opportunity to take it and elevate it for those groups of human beings. And I just love her vision. And I'm very blessed and grateful to be able to help spread that to the world through this podcast. We also hear from Jamarian on her approach to treating teachers like queens and giving them catered meals at staff meetings and fresh flowers and spa treatments and cool queen bee treatment, because teachers and early learning leaders are constantly caring for others, and they need some pampering too, y'all. And many of our listeners are pampering. You guys are pampering your teachers and doing great things for teachers to love on them. But it is a great reminder that it is a strategy that not only keeps staff retention and motivation and buy-in super high and keeps high quality high, but it also can be a great word of mouth strategy, because what she's doing is taking pictures of her catered staff meetings and putting all the fun and the pictures of the fun that teachers are having together as a tribe at her school on her Instagram account, and having people in the community reach out and slide into her DM in her Instagram account and say, "Hey, Jamarian, looks like you're doing amazing things, and it looks like you're having a heck of a lot of fun. Are you hiring? And so she's using a staff attraction strategy that we teach a lot here at the Childcare Success Company, which is to, spread the word by doing great things with your team and showing pictures of these ladies being pampered and having fun. And then the word will get out. People talk. They talk about the good stuff and they talk about the not so good stuff. And so if you can spread that joy among your employees, the word will get out that you're a great place to work. And it is. And that's what's happening to her. So she does not, is not suffering from a lack of teachers because she has people reaching out going, hey, I'd love to work for you. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Now, how can you adopt that strategy is your homework for today. And so really, let's dive right in. There's nothing else that I really want to share for you as an intro here on episode 96. This is a great episode, and let's dig right into it. Let's meet Jamarrion and learn more about her vision and her program here at Childcare Rockstar Radio. Enjoy. All right, welcome back, everybody. We are here at episode 96 of Childcare Rockstar Radio. I am your host, Chris Murray, and I'm thrilled to bring to you today an awesome guest. Her name is Jamarrion Tabor. Jamarian, how are you today?
I am good, Chris. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. Where are you right now? Where are you located? Where are you sitting?
I'm currently in Powder Springs, Georgia, which is right outside of Atlanta. And I am currently at my home office today. My center is actually closed for the week for Christmas, so I am working from home today.
Very good. Tell us more about your program, your center, and your background in early learning.
Okay. Well, I have been in early childhood not long, for 5 years. Kind of stumbled into it. Started off with a home daycare. I had a home daycare for 1 year. And then I opened up my first center in 2016, September 2016. And that has been going, it's been a challenge, but we're getting there. We're there, actually. And I just purchased my second location. So we have a launch date, hopefully, for January 11th. We will be opening our doors January 11th. So that will be my second location. And it's also here in Georgia. It's in Kennesaw, which is maybe about 45 minutes from my first location.
Very good. Well, congratulations on your second location. That's super exciting.
Thank you. I do have non-traditional programs. Both of my centers are 24 hours, 7 days a week. So we're open 24 hours, Monday through Friday, and Saturday and Sunday, we're by appointment only.
Very good. In your 5 years in the field, what inspired you to get into this field?
The need for childcare for single parents. I was, and if I can just be transparent, I was raised by a single mom, and most of my friends are single parents. Most of my family are single parents, and just seeing the struggles that single parents have. As I was growing up and as I became an adult, it just really it really made me want to help in all ways. Before I was doing childcare, I used to do a lot of different charity events for single parents. And it's just always been a passion of mine to help single parents because I've seen the struggles that my mom went through.
Mm-hmm. And then
my center is named after my mom. My first center is named after my mom.
Which is Madalyn's.
Yes,
right?
Ma'am. Mm-hmm. My mom is deceased. She passed away in 2014. And so I decided to name my center after her because my mom she actually wanted to be a teacher, but never had the chance. My mom battled drug addiction for the majority part of my life. And so she never had a chance to really pursue her dreams. So I wanted to pursue them for her.
That's an amazing thank you for sharing that with us. That's wonderful. And so with your home daycare, what I guess motivated you or inspired you to jump from home-based learning to actually doing a childcare center with brick and mortar, an actual center?
Yes. I felt like my my reach was bigger. The need was bigger, and I needed to do bigger. I'm extra in everything that I do, and I love being extra. But I wanted to reach more. And
Hmm.
with having a home daycare, especially in Georgia, it's a six. And I just feel like I was providing an impact with six children, and I wanted to do more. So I ventured out and knew nothing about really about childcare still when I opened my center. Um, but I'm a firm believer in you have to do it, even if you do it scared, you have to do it. So
Yeah.
I it was really a blessing. I found the building, and I didn't start small because my building is 10,000 square feet.
Hmm.
So I started big on my first center, not knowing much. And I opened it. It was like about 45 minutes away from my home daycare. So I actually wasn't really able to take any of my home children with me. I really started fresh.
Hmm.
Um, so it was a challenge.
Yeah. And what was the capacity of that school?
I am licensed for 118.
Okay. Yeah, that is a
And
big jump.
yeah, I'm a license for 118, and then I have a addition onto the building, which makes it so big. But it cannot be licensed for things that's in the room. So we turned that into a party center. So I have a party center on site that we rent out for birthday parties, for children birthday parties.
Cool. Love that. Um, how full are you right now?
Right now we are 75% full.
Okay.
And we're almost up to our pre-COVID numbers. So I think for this time, that's not bad. And numbers are going up. But we have actually been open the entire pandemic. I didn't close.
Hmm.
So we went down to five children back in April.
Wow.
Um, and I stayed the course. We went down to five children. My entire staff chose to collect unemployment, and it was no one but me and my daughter. My daughter is actually my assistant director. And as the numbers started going up, I started to hire again. And right now we're at 75% full. I don't have a staff shortage. So things are good. I stayed the course, and it was hard. It was
Yeah.
rough. I didn't know what was going to happen, but we stayed the course and we made it work.
Well, that is fantastic. Way to go. I love hearing that you are almost to pre-COVID levels and the party center, I'm sure is rocking it. And that's just awesome. I love, love, love it. So tell us a little bit about your home life. What's going on for you at home and what do you like to do when you're not working?
Well, home life is always a lot. I have four children that range from ages. My oldest is 18. She just graduated from high school in May. I have a 13-year-old, a 9-year-old, and an 8-year-old. So home life is exciting, especially now with virtual learning. My 9-year-old son is actually he's in special needs class. So it makes his digital learning a little more rough
Hmm.
because he has, his attention span is very short. So I've had to really make sure that my team at the center was very, was on point and in place because I have to stay at home a lot during the day to help my children with digital learning. So
Hmm.
it's been an adjustment. All of us being in the house at all the time is six of us. So it's been an adjustment, but it's been good. It's allowed me to spend more time with my husband, spend more time with my children. A lot of things I felt like I was missing because I was so much. So it's been good. I've learned a lot of things about them that I didn't know. So it's been great. We're actually sitting down having dinner together, and we
Hmm.
haven't did that in a long time. So it
Good.
2020 hasn't been all that bad for me. It has really helped me gain a better relationship with my children, especially my 18-year-old. So me and
Right.
her have became very close during this time.
That's fantastic. I love that. Love hearing that. Share with us a fun fact about you that hardly anyone knows.
Fun fact: before I moved to Atlanta, and before I started childcare, I had a boutique. I was a boutique owner. And that was my passion. That was what I wanted to do. I wanted boutiques in every major city. And I had a boutique for about 3 years. So I don't think a lot of people don't know that because I don't talk about it that much. But yes, that was my passion at the time.
And so it was a retail store selling like women's
I
clothing and
had a storefront.
accessories, or
Yes, ma'am.
okay.
Yep. It was a storefront. I sold women's clothes and accessories, and I had
Hmm.
it for about 3 years in my home again. And I was just selling things online on Facebook. And then I opened up a storefront, and I had it for
Okay.
about 3 years. Yep.
Wow. Cool. Look at you. You're very entrepreneurial in all different ways we never even knew. It sounds like you've definitely been able to roll with the punches with regards to 2020 and the pandemic. What are some things that you did to help you financially? It sounds like with your labor costs, everybody took unemployment and you were able just to go super lean at the very beginning when you had 5 kids enrolled. And then coming through the summer and then into the fall, what are many creative ideas or things that you did to keep your staff motivated and to get your numbers back to a really solid position?
Chris, I'll be honest. When I first started my business, everything went so fast. I did a change of ownership. It was a previous center, and I just dived in. My finances were all over the place because things started coming so quick. It was money that I have never seen before, and I wasn't managing it well. Pandemic gave me a chance to look at my business, I would say naked. When it was no teachers there, it was really no payroll. My bills were at a minimum. I was able to see where I was wasting money, where I could put more money, where I was wasting payroll. And it really 2020 was hard on a lot of people. But it really blessed me. It blessed me in my business because it gave me time to look at things from the naked perspective. And I was, okay, Jamarian, this is what you need to do. And what I've learned is knowing your numbers, knowing your bottom line. If you don't know your numbers, you're just spinning your wheels. And it helped me. I had to get strict on my budgeting and decide that everything doesn't have to be. I would find myself saying yes to a lot of things at the center and buying this to make people happy or to please my teachers, when sometimes things wasn't needed, or doing things just to do them, and not really thinking, okay, is this the right thing to do for business? So
Mm-hmm.
during that time when the numbers were low and my numbers were low with my staff, it just really gave me time to really get my money in order. So I'm grateful for that. As far as the staff and keeping them motivated, I try to, a lot of people in our area say I have the fun center. So with everything that we do, I try to make it fun. I do a lot of events for my staff. We have monthly meetings. All of our monthly meetings are catered by a chef. My staff are served at the meetings. With childcare, we're not always able to pay our staff what we want to pay them. And so I try to make up in other ways and make them feel appreciated, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have the things that I have, and so I just make sure that I pour into them in any way possible, whether if it's training, and just doing random acts of kindness for them, an employee of the month, and just different things like that we really try to keep them motivated, and let them know. And I'm very big on education, because I tell them all the time, it's no way that you should be working in childcare 10 years and you don't have certain certifications, and it's no way you're here, so I make sure that I motivate them to get their education and to get the things that they need so they can move to the next level and get out of the classroom if that's their desire to get out of the classroom.
Mm-hmm. So something that you just shared gave me a little bit of an aha moment with regard to the fact that our teachers are so, they're so focused on caring for others with the day in, day out of caring for the children in their classrooms. And then they probably go home and they care for others. And so when you said that you brought in catered meals and then they got to get served at the meetings, that made me really realize that if we could do that for our teachers and make them feel like pampered queens, then because, so many people are doing like potlucks and things where they have their staff come to a thing and everybody has to bring a meal or something, and that's fine. But I think what you said is let's ramp up the level of that they then get to be cared for. They get to be pampered. They get to be served because they're constantly serving for others, right? So I love that, whether it's catered meals, fresh flowers, spa treatments, just making them feel like they are pampered queens. I love that. That's like, there's something there. And the fact that you're known for that, like in your community, you're known as the fun center. And this, that's like, you want to be known for that. If you're listening to this and you're going, how come I never can find staff? Because people talk in the community. People are like, oh no, you don't want to go work there. It's kind of a mess and the leadership's not, and that's an offsite owner and, it's not great. But this one over here, I have heard so amazing things about Madalyn's house. And so I love that. That's just like, because those employees will be out singing your praises too, just like families will, if you get it right.
They will. And, it's strange that you say that about people will spread the word. We just had a Christmas party on Friday, and we post the pictures on our website and our Instagram, and I posted them late on Friday evening. When I woke up on Saturday morning, I had about 3 inboxes on my business Facebook page, and also DMs on Instagram asking me, are we hiring? And I told my husband, I said, I really think that came from the pictures,
Mm-hmm.
And so I just tried to make sure I pour into my staff. And have it always been like that? No.
Right.
But, through my coaching experience and just watching other owners and reading and just doing research and looking at other centers and how, taking it away that people think, oh, it's a high turnover rate in childcare, but it doesn't have to be like that.
Right.
It doesn't have to be like that. I want my, I want my teachers to feel comfortable, even down to the uniforms. We have cool uniforms. And I just want them to feel comfortable no matter what. I want them to feel comfortable.
Yeah, that's great. That's really, really good. I mean, you can look professional and still kind of look cool, comfy, hip. Mm-hmm. You can roll all that in a preschool environment. So I love that. That's really good. So if you're finding a lot of our members are still feeling like they're pushing a boulder uphill when it comes to hiring. And I think a lot of it is sowing those seeds, planting those seeds of exactly what we're talking about here, because people are seeing that on your Instagram and they're actually reaching out and saying, do you have openings? That's exactly where you want to be. And most people aren't there. So that's really amazing. So that's a writer downer for you listening if you don't have that going on in your hiring. So I love, love, love that. Let's shift topics and talk a little bit about, you recently shared with me, you just upgraded your membership in our academy to the Empire level. So congratulations on that.
Well, thank you.
Talk about stepping up into making a bigger impact and living your life at the highest level. And you're just expanding into your next location, and you're definitely a mover and a shaker. And I can see that you have amazing things that are going to come your way because you're stepping into where you want to take your life. You're extra and not letting anybody keep you back from that. And you're embracing that. So but what you shared with me while we were doing that process of getting you upgraded, your goals and dream of really bringing high quality early care and education to inner city markets and to minority children and families who are oftentimes underserved when it comes to high quality, true high quality. And so talk a little bit about what that looks like for you. Why is that such a passion for you? Why is this your mission, and how can we help you bring it to fruition?
Well, I giving back to my community And when I say my community, I'm from Chicago, but I now reside here in Georgia. It doesn't necessarily have to be in Chicago, but I am from, of course, I grew up in predominantly Black neighborhood, African American neighborhood, inner city, low income. And I've seen what it does, how it tears families apart. Um, Education plays a big part. I remember in my high school, we had no books for 4 years. We had no books, none, no books, not even in the classroom. We received worksheets. We had no books. And for me, it was a culture shock because I was lucky to go to a magnet school, Walt Disney Magnet School in Chicago. From kindergarten to eighth grade, you had to be accepted. And so I was bused every day for 9 years.
Mm.
So I was able to get away. I was able to go to school with all different, everybody in the city of Chicago, and that helped. So when I end up going to my neighborhood school for high school, I was like, okay, what is this? you know, and that's when I really seen the quality of education that is in our neighborhoods, that are in African American neighborhoods. When I went through a rough patch in my life and I had to move back to the city in Chicago. I was living in the suburbs and I had to move back to the city. And had to put my children in childcare in the city. And I was just disgusted, with the lack of education, the lack of resources. And, I look at the state of African American children right now, teenagers and young adults. And I truly believe that childcare is the foundation of education. And I didn't think a lot, I think that the pandemic made a lot of people realize that
Mm.
because, before the pandemic, we were kind of, we wasn't really respected. But when they needed us, a lot of people looked at childcare different during the pandemic. And it starts from the simple things, just from having quality equipment. you know, um, we just remodeled some things. I just remodeled some things in the center, and my director told me, she said, "Well, Miss J, I don't think we should put this in there because they're going to tear it up." And I said, "But see, that's the problem. We got to stop saying they're going to tear it up. No,
Mhm.
we're going to teach them how to respect things, and we're going to teach them how to treat things." And so, coming from where I'm from, and just with my people in general, we don't always have access to a lot of resources when it comes to education and when it comes to childcare. So normally what happens is the child doesn't go to school until they're 6 years old. So they're staying with auntie or they're staying with grandma, and they never really get the things that they will get in childcare because the parents most of the time feel like, it's not quality, or I'm not sending them there. And so I want to change the perspective of childcare in urban areas. And even with childcare owners, I have a lot of childcare owners, friends that's childcare owners that have childcare centers in minority areas, in the quote unquote hood. And I even tell them, hey, your center doesn't have to look like that. You can have quality. You can operate at a level, even at being a mom and pop.
Mhm.
So my ultimate goal, and whether I do it here in Chicago, I mean here in the Atlanta area, or I take it back home to Chicago, I would love to take it back home. But I would like to open up childcare centers, but on a more community, I would say community centered level, where it's also resources for parents. Because a lot of things that children go through is just a reflection of what their parents are going through. And if mom doesn't have the proper resources to take care of herself, how can she properly take care of her child?
Right.
And I see it all the time with the children that come to our center. And I had to teach my staff that we're going to stop terminating children because they have behavior problems. We're going to stop just putting them to the side because maybe their uniform is not clean. Or no, I'm going to bring that parent, and my parents know Ms. J will bring you in the office to speak to you about your child's uniform. Yes, I will. I will bring you in the office to speak with you about your child not having a winter coat, but you have on a winter coat. So I just really want to change the perspective of early childhood in the hood. And I want to really focus on changing the level of education that our children receive starting at an early age, because I think that it will make things much better. I think that, if little Johnny goes to start at a child care level, his behavior and just the way that he look at life will be different when he's in 5th grade and when he's in 6th grade, but it all starts, it takes a village, and we have to get back to, it takes a village to raise children.
I love that. I love what you shared. We need more people to be involved in this mission, I think, if we're going to try to really, I do know that big corporations like Amazon are creating foundations and movements to offer subsidized early care and education in different markets. And they're starting to advertise also for funding that they're providing in terms of STEM and robotics support and things in the classroom for inner city programs. So I know that there is a focus at a corporate level I'm starting to feel it and hear about it, but at grassroots, because like you're, part of our academy, and you would be one of the providers that would be, living this mission and developing this mission. So how do you see that playing out? Because to make a big impact, I feel that we would need funding, and we would need maybe to set up some sort of a foundation, or I don't know, Jamarian, but certainly you could do it in partnership with other people who want to join in from the academy, but have you given any thought to how you might see it going a little bit even bigger than just one or two people could do?
Yeah, I have. And I've been doing research because when I tell you, Chris, it's really, really near and dear to my heart. When they do these type of funding programs that you're speaking of, most of the time it just goes to the schools, and people really forget about childcare centers. They do. And, or it's just daycare, but it's not just daycare, and I think that during this pandemic, it showed that we are really needed, and I just, if I can take my, my director gets on me all the time because she said, Ms. J, you want to help everybody, and it's, when our subsidy program here was on a freeze, I created my own low income program. And I lost money, so much money, by taking it at a low cost. But I hear the stories every day of young ladies that work at McDonald's and Wendy's can't get approved for childcare assistant because it's no money or whatever.
Right.
But they have to go to work, and they really can't afford to pay childcare. So they're just leaving their children with anyone. And I know that I would need a lot of funding, to make this happen. But I'm going to start small, and I'm going to continue to do my research. And try to find grants. Right now, I am working on my 501c3, so I can start a nonprofit agency.
Cool.
And I know that will help, but right now that is something that is near and dear to my heart. And, a lot because of what I've seen growing up, and when you're not in childcare during the daytime and you're staying at auntie, uncle house, grandma house, you see a lot. And children need to be in a school setting.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's an awesome dream. And I wanted to put it out there today on the podcast because you never know what will come through with people coming into our world that might want to help us further this passion. So thank you for sharing that. Let's talk a little bit about your leadership. What would you say is your leadership or management style? Who are the people that you look to, that you emulate, or that you see as mentors, or just that you admire in the area of leadership and business?
Well, my go-to person, anytime that I'm in doubt and I have to check myself, I have to say, what would Tamina do? So I absolutely love Tamina. I think that personally, the Academy has done more for me personally, because I had to become a better Jamarian. I am ex-military, so and being in charge, I didn't have a problem with. I can do that with my eyes closed. But it's a difference when you lead correctly and, when you just want to be the leader. I think when I first started, I just wanted to be the leader, and I didn't know how to talk to staff. Um, and I didn't know how to treat them like they should be treated. And I thought, it's my way or no way. You're going to do it my way. I don't care about your
Mhm.
opinion, and just watching Tamina, and it has helped me so much personally that I have became a better leader. In return, I started seeing the benefits, and I mean the benefits from it in my business. And my staff, would always ask me, Miss J, what's wrong with you? You're acting different. They swear I've got that I'm just going to church every Sunday, right? But I would say that I lead, my leadership is more of a direct style. I'm very transparent. I don't really sugarcoat anything with my staff, but I have learned to do it in a respectful way.
Mhm.
Um, I really don't have a filter, but I have learned to do it in a respectful way. My staff know what you see is what you get, and they know that I'm gonna be honest with them. If things are messed up, they're gonna know it's messed up.
Mhm.
It's been time, even in my bad leadership days. It's been time when I couldn't make payroll, and they knew it. I let them know, and I let them know when I'm gonna be make payroll.
Mhm.
So I would say that I have a direct style of leadership, very direct, very transparent, but I have learned to be direct and be transparent, but in a respectful.
Mhm. Well, Tamina Adams on our team, and she is for those of you guys that don't know Tamina, she's a force of nature. And I've been a big part of seeing her transform, how she's led, how she's showed up for her schools. She started out with us in 2016 as a client, running her mom's program 24/7 also, like yours, Jamarian. And she has now expanded into what is going to be her fourth and fifth location coming out in 2021 with hundreds of children, because she's getting these large programs now in DC, and will be impacting thousands of children by the time she's done, and also adding on food service and who knows what next. So she's just quite the entrepreneur in action. So if you guys haven't gotten to know Tamina yet, she's featured in 2 different episodes here at Childcare Rockstar Radio, one more recently. And I'm glad that she's been an inspiration to you, because we feel so blessed to have her in our lives. And I feel very blessed to have inspired her to become a coach in the first place. And she's an amazing human. So I love that you cited her as a mentor and as somebody you look up to. Looking back on your journey so far, and it's been a fairly short journey in ECE, so I'm looking forward to everything that you do in your future, because you're young and you're full of energy and you're going to make a huge impact, I feel. But so far, looking back, what one thing would you do differently in your business or your life if you had to do it all over again?
If I had to do it all over again, I would have. Well, I'm going to give you 2 things. I would have saved more money,
Okay.
and I would have made sure that I kept my credit intact, because I didn't realize how important credit was
Yeah.
until I opened up a brick and mortar business.
Yeah.
So I would say those are the 2 most important things. I would have treated my money better, because I've learned now that when you treat your money good, your money will treat you good.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Amen. That's one of the things that I see as still a focus. I think that might be one of my goals for 2021, is to help our members continue to improve their money practices. Because even recently I asked people in the Empire group, I think it was, or it might've been the Full Academy, about how many of you are actually getting timely financial statements and seeing your monthly P&Ls the month following the month it happened, which is a best practice. So like right now we're at the end of December. So how many of you actually have your November P&L in hand and you've reviewed it with your accountant? So you know where you spent your money, you know where your cash went and what was your profit margin. And like literally only maybe 5%, maybe 10% of our Academy members have that. And I'm like, come on, y'all. It's not that hard. So thank you for bringing that up, because money is important. You've got to be managing your money and not have that head in the sand mentality. With regard to credit, you guys know my credit story. I went from a 580 and I turned it around to almost an 800 credit score using credit repair. So I don't know, Jamarian, are you in the process of trying to rebuild your credit?
Yes, I actually have. And again, I'm very transparent, so I don't mind sharing my story. When I opened my center, I had a 414 credit score. And as of actually last Thursday, I have a 735 now. So I am, and
Wow.
I'm excited about that. When you spoke on the money and the profit and loss, really didn't hit me until the end of 2019. And when the beginning of 2020, when I completed my taxes for 2019, I was shocked. I said, "It's no way we made all that money. Where is it?
Right. Where is it?
Where is it at?"
Yeah.
And that's when I really had to buckle down and say, "Okay, wait a minute. We're really doing good, right?
Yeah.
But I don't see it. So let me
Right.
fix this, right?" So
Exactly.
yeah, because I was shocked. We had an awesome year, 2019, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, "It's no way, no way,
Mm-hmm.
no way we made all that money, right?"
Yep.
But which is, if you don't know your bottom line and you don't know your numbers and you just got stuff here, there, and everywhere, you'll never know. So that was an
Right.
eye opener for me. And I think the biggest eye opener with credit was my hot water tank went out at my center. And when the guy came out and looked at it, he told me, he said, "Okay, well, you can just let us know if you want to put it on a card." I'm like, "My debit card?" I don't. And I had to pay $8,000 up front for a water heater. And I said, I have to get my credit in order.
Yeah.
And I've been working on it since then. I've been disciplined, and I'm getting there. Getting there.
Yeah. Good. That's really, really good. I do like the Dave Ramsey financial method. I do like taking the baby steps towards financial freedom. Being debt free is your first usually step, but understanding where your money's going, because you're right. You can make it, but can you keep it? That's the thing. As you look back on your financial statement, you're like, "Oh, we made $500,000 in profit. Where the hell did it go? It's not in my pocket. Where the hell did it go?" That's not a good feeling in your stomach, in your tummy, when you have that. Good. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're doing that and you're disciplined and you're working on it, and congrats on your score. Keep it going. Cause it's very difficult to run a brick and mortar business off just pure debit card. I've done it. I mean, I built a 7-figure business on just pure cash, but it's not easy to do. It's so great when you can actually start having that credit, and that business line of credit is good, because then you have a bank and you have a business line of credit, and you've got 100 or 150 in there that you can count on if any disaster hits. If you get flooded, if a hurricane comes, if we have another COVID thing, you can count on that business line of credit. So you guys got to get that going too. So that's really, really good. And the time to get it going is when you don't need it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So how do you define a childcare rock star?
Rock star. I would say first, someone that treats their staff correctly, um, someone that never gives up, and someone that defied the odds. This has been a rough year for
Mm-hmm.
our industry, but I truly believe that if you have managed to come through this, if you're listening to this podcast now and your doors are still open, then you are a childcare rock star. It's been hard. We could have
Yeah.
thrown in the towel, you know, um, but every day we get up and we make it happen, and just giving your all to take care of someone else, to take care of other people's children, and just never giving up. It's hard, and I tell people all the time. I have family or friends that say, "Oh, you started a babysitting business." It's far from babysitting, And so I would say again, a rock star is just someone that treats your staff um, correctly, because ultimately they are the foundation of your business. They make your business great. Um, and defying the odds and never giving up, just giving it your all every day, no matter what. Entrepreneurship is not hard, and the childcare industry is harder. So you just have to make sure that you stay motivated, stay connected with the right people, and just giving it your all every day.
Well, amen to that. Although I have to say, I feel that entrepreneurship can be very challenging at times. It's maybe the basics of it aren't hard, but it is also not for the faint of heart. So that shows me what grit you have inside of you. Because if you're like, it's not hard, I'm like, ooh, look at you.
No, it's not. It's not for the. And I tell people that all the time. It's not.
Yeah.
It's you have to have tough skin because you
Yeah.
never know. Every day is different. Every day is different.
Yes, very much so. What are some things that you are either foundationally books, podcasts, things that you love that you've formed in your knowledge, or things that you're loving right now that you're watching, reading, or listening to that you can share?
The 48 Laws of Power. I love that
Mm.
book. I read it. I'm on my third time reading it actually.
Wow, I don't know that
It's,
one. The 48 Laws of Power.
yes, and you have to have discipline to read that. It's very long. And Think and Grow Rich. I don't know how many times that I have read that, but
I
I
love that
read it all.
one.
And actually, Childcare Millionaire. Childcare Millionaire changed my perspective on childcare.
Mm.
I have gifted owner that I know as a friend that didn't have that book. I have bought it for them,
Yeah.
and I've read it a couple of times. My previous director, she actually left me to start a home daycare, but that was one of the gifts that I gave her when she left. Because I was really proud of her for stepping out on her own. But she left and started a home daycare, and I gave her that book. And to this day, she tell me how it just changed her mindset on
Nice.
child.
Shout out to Coach Brian Dupre for that amazing book. And that will stand, I think, over time as a huge game changer for our industry, Childcare Millionaire. So if you don't have a copy of that, pick one up. And thank you for sharing those. How can we learn more about you? How can our listeners and viewers find out more about Jamarian and her programs?
Well, they can find me personally on Facebook at Jamarrion Tabor. Simple. Well, first name simple, but it's Jamarrion Tabor on Facebook. And Facebook for my business page is Madalyn's House 24-hour Childcare Center, and Tulips 24-hour Learning Academy is my second location.
Okay.
And on Instagram, I am M House Childcare CEO.
Okay. We will put all of those links in the show notes for this episode as well. So you guys can grab the show notes and get those links. It's episode 96 of Childcare Rockstar Radio, featuring Jamarrion Tabor. And our topic today was digging into sharing your vision of bringing high quality early care and education to inner city and minority and underserved families and children, which I just love. And I am looking forward to working with you to help bring that vision to life. Anything else that you would like to share with our group before we say goodbye?
Yes, Chris, I just want to tell you thank you. I can't really describe the feeling. I joined the academy in 2019 in growth, and I swiped my card to join the academy, and my card went into overdraft. And I will forever tell people this story, okay? And less than 2 years later, I am sitting here in a totally different financial situation, mindset, and I am an Empire member. And it feels good. It
Mhm.
just feels good. So I just want to thank you for providing this platform for childcare owners. And I never knew anything like this existed for childcare owners. And just to share and network with people that have the same stories that you have. It's a great feeling to know that you're not alone, and you're not doing anything wrong, because this is just something that happens in childcare. And just to hear, piggyback off other people's stories and gain knowledge, and network with people from all walks of life is just a very, very good feeling. And I am proud to say that I am an Empire member. Um, and when my family and friends didn't understand until I had to break it down to them. But to be able to, for me, it's a good feeling to know that I have grown with my mindset and just the way that I handle things. Because for me to upgrade with no worries, it's just a really, really good feeling. And so I
Mhm.
just want to tell you thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much for being here today and inspiring us with your story and sharing and being vulnerable and transparent. And we are very blessed to have you in the Academy, and love seeing your expansion and all the good stuff you're doing and the high quality you're bringing to your market. And I love having you in Empire too. So it's an exclusive group for those of you guys that don't know. There's only 40 max, and we are full in Empire. So we have a wait list now again. And we had a few spots open up, and Jamarian snagged one of them and without any hesitation. And she's set and poised for 2021 coming out of this pandemic at the highest level of success. So I'm so pleased for that and for you. And thank you so much for being here today and sharing.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Take care and God bless. Thanks everybody for tuning in to our show, and we will talk to y'all next time. And happy 2021. I don't know if this was our first episode of 2021 as it airs, but it may be. And if so, happy new year to everybody, because we are in for quite a ride of success. And I think coming out of this pandemic, we're going to experience amazing things in our world. So I'm really glad to have you as our guest, Jamarian, for our first potential episode of 2021. Super exciting.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Great holiday, Chris.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.